Hey, what's going on, guys? Classic here. I'm gonna split this video up. I'm gonna do 2 reviews in one video. Let's start with tonight's pay-per-view, which was TNA Turning Point. Overall, I thought this was a good show. Of course, it could have been better, but for what we got, it was decent. I did not see the entire show. I came in at the end of the Eric Young, James Storm match. So I'm just going to go from there. The match after that was the Feast and Fire match, Battle Royal. I thought it was good. You know, the competitors, the wrestlers in there. You know, it was a good choice to, who to put in there. Like I said, a match. You know, some of the guys were going right after the briefcase, while other guys were waiting outside because they really didn't want to pick a briefcase. Like Chris Harris. Chris Harris is waiting outside, but then we saw him going after the last briefcase. I believe that Petey Williams got a case, Senshi got a case, Kip James, and then he passed it to BG James. They got a case, and then the last case went to, who did it go to? Scott Steiner. So, what I predict is Scott Steiner has the heavyweight title match. Senshi gets the X Division title match. BG and Kip, they'll get the tag team title match, and then unfortunately, to everyone's dismay, Petey Williams is going to get fired. Who knows what they'll do with that? But we'll see what happens. Like I said, it was a decent match. Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong. Good women's match. During the match, it just looks like Gail Kim couldn't do anything against Awesome Kong, which is pretty much selling her whole thing. While she's just, this totally indestructible force. But Gail Kim, she fought hard, and she hit like 3 or 4 nice drop kicks on Awesome Kong, and one from the top rope, which was right in her head, and it put her right to the ground. But Awesome Kong took control back into the match, and then she just started going to town on Gail Kim and ended up getting herself DQ'd. And then everyone came to try to help Gail Kim, but she laid everybody out, including the referee. But it was really good. Really good women's match. We go to Abyss and Raven. Raven replaced Rhino. Abyss and Raven versus Relic and Black Rain in the match of 10,000 tacks. The match started off really slow. It was really dull. Really wasn't into it, but it picked up. They all went outside. Of course, hardcore match. They went out into the crowd and everything, but it picked up. The guys got back into the ring, and we saw a lot of good things. Raven threw Black Rain onto one bed of tacks, which was okay, but then Raven had Relic on a bed of tacks, and he tried to do an elbow drop. Relic moved out of the way, and Raven took a sick bump on it. The match ended with Abyss giving Relic a black hole slam onto the tacks, which came off really good, and he got the pin. So it was like I said, it started off slow, but it ended up okay. So decent match. Then we go to pretty much the match of the night: Kaz and Booker versus Christian Cage and Robert Roode. It's really good. Kaz was all over this match, doing springboard leg drop, and flying over the top rope, and a double drop kick from the top rope, and then he hit a nice the move of the match. He hit it was like a reverse neck break on Christian, and then a DT on Robert Roode. He hit it at the same time. It was so nice. It was a really nice move. Like I said, overall, it's the match of the night. Really good match. Want to see what they do with Kaz from here, because it's looking good. Then we go to the main event, which was, I don't know, the Angle Alliance: Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, and Tomko versus Kevin Nash and Samoa Joe. Now apparently Scott Hall didn't show up. I don't know why. Then Samoa Joe went on this 10-minute rant, this shoot on everything, and I thought the shoot was great. And then the replacement ended up being Eric Young, and I'm just like, I don't get it. It was an okay match, and a couple of nice spots and everything. Joe ended up winning with the Muscle Buster on Tomko. Like I said, decent match. Overall, this pay-per-view, I'd watch it. Would I order it? No, but like I said, it was a good a good showing from TNA. So definitely, if you have time, check it out. But what I really want to talk about is what we all witnessed on Friday night. It's something we like to call ROH and their amazing pay-per-view, Man Up. This pay-per-view was so good. I'm not gonna say pay-per-view because we take that, you know, out of context. This show was so good. Like, this is not much I can explain. I've watched it 3 times since, you know, it's happened. It's going on right now. Not only did I put it on DVD, but I put it on DVR so I can watch it anytime. That thing's not getting erased anytime soon. Let me just give you my thoughts on the match. The first match was Nigel McGuinness versus Claudio Castagnoli versus Naomichi Marufuji versus Chris Hero. It was a really good opener. Nigel McGuinness was hitting lariats all over the place. I mean, just, you know, from the rope and everything. And Chris Hero, he was doing his whole little act in the beginning, you know, showing how athletic he was, and then Castagnoli gets in the ring, he just runs away. Like I said, overall, all 4 of these guys, they did a great job going back and forth with each other. Marufuji and Nigel McGuinness more than the others, but like I said, really good match. Like I said, Nigel McGuinness, he hits that lariat like no one's business, and he hit it on Castagnoli out of nowhere, and then just he bam wins the match. Yes, I was marking out pretty hard. Then we go to the best of 3 matches. The first one was Rocky Romero versus Matt Cross. Okay match, like I said, okay to start off the best out of 3. Then we get Davey Richards versus Austin Aries. Really good match. It was almost like a 15-minute match between these two. Austin Aries ended up winning with the 450 splash, which is always nice to see. Then we go to Roderick Strong versus Eric Stevens. Another good match. Like I said, this one went about 15 minutes. Good back and forth, you know, between the two. Roderick Strong ended up winning with the Gibson driver. It's just, I'm sorry, like I said, I'm in the middle of that match right now looking at it, but great match. The next match, Takeshi Morishima versus Bryan Danielson for the title, the World Heavyweight title. Everyone knew that Danielson had that eye, you know, the eye injury. That's why he had the eye patch on. But, you know, when everyone took their, you know, mind off of his injury, the match was great. At first, you know, even though I read the results like back in September, or excuse me, back in October, me watching this match, forgetting what the results were, I actually thought that Danielson was going to win. I thought, you know, I was just like, oh my God, this guy's going to do it. Like I said, I forgot all about the results, but I was just marking out hard, basically. The referee ended up stopping the match because Morishima was basically just pounding on his eye, and they ended up stopping the match. So I want to see what happens in the future with those two. Then we go to the main event, the Briscoe brothers versus El Generico and Kevin Steen. And this match was amazing. Match of the year. I mean, the crowd was chanting match of the year, and everyone that saw this knows this is match of the year. If you have any other match to put against this, then you just, you know, you're going to get it proven wrong, because this match was amazing. So many spots. God, the freaking, what do you call it? The Doomsday Device through the ladder. That was so crazy. And he hit it like, oh my God, it was just, oh. Like, he got through the ladder so well. It was just so perfect. Like I said, the match, it started off in there in the crowd and everything, just taking brutal chair shots to each other. I believe Mark tried to do a ace crusher from the guardrail. He kind of botched it, but like I said, if he'd have made it, it would look good. But then they started to bring the ladders out, and just wow. El Generico took some bad, sick bumps on the ladders, man. His back was, you know, his back had to be horrible. He did a double, what do you call it? A double hip toss onto the ladder, which pretty much just bent the ladder, and then they flipped it over and they did it again. And then you saw crazy spots like the package power driver, which broke the what do you call it? It broke the ladder. You know, everyone marked out for that. And then you saw the J driller onto the ladder, which broke that. And then they brought out that, you know, oh my God, like I said, oh, the match was amazing. That's all I can say. The match was amazing. If you haven't seen this pay-per-view, you really don't know what you're missing. If you were to spend $10 or $15 this month, this what it would be on, honestly, because this pay-per-view was so good. I have not been so entertained and so happy at the end of a pay-per-view until I watched this. I tell you what, man, I'm becoming a bigger ROH fan by the moment, and I don't know, if you haven't seen this, please check it out. You will not regret it. Instant Classic, and I'm out.